Hare Krishna. Welcome to the timeless wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I am Archana and today we dive into chapter 1 Arjun Vishad Yog. What if I told you that the greatest battlefield in the world is not outside you? Every morning before we step out, a silent war begins. A war between anger and patience, fear and courage, greed and contentment. Sometimes we know the right things to do, yet we don't do it. Because the real battle is not against other people, it is against our own mind. More than 5,000 years ago, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, one of the greatest warriors in history stood with bow in his hand. Yet he could not lift it. His body was strong, but his mind was broken. That warrior was Arjun. Standing beside him was not his charioteer, but the greatest teacher of the world, Lord Krishna. And that followed was not merely a conversation about war. It became a conversation about life itself. How we should face fear, how we do overcome anxiety, what is the purpose, what is the success. Bhagavad Gita is the psychology of life. The battlefield is life. And Arjun is us. Krishna is the wisdom waiting inside us. The Bhagavad Gita is not just an ancient Hindu scripture. It is a timeless guide to living meaningfully and courageous life. It is the conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjun, confused, fearful, and unable to decide what is right. At that moment, Krishna teaches a truth that is relevant today. Our greatest battles are not fought outside, but within us. They are the battles against fear, doubt, anger, greed, and attachment. One of the most beautiful ways to understand the Bhagavad Gita is to realize that every major character represents a part of our own mind and personality. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is also the battlefield within us, where Krishna represents wisdom, higher consciousness, and inner guide, and Arjun represents confused and sincere human mind. Duryodhan represents greed, ego, jealousy. Bhishma represents duty without cautioning, where Drona represents skill without moral courage. Karna was a great talent trapped by wrong association. Shakuni is a manipulative mind. Dhritarashtra is blind attachment. Yudhishthir represents truth and dharma, where Bhim represents strength. Nakul represents purity and humility, where Sahadev represents wisdom and foresight. Draupadi is our self-respect and human dignity, where Vidur represents consciousness and inner voice, where Sanjay is awareness and mindfulness. And not only this, Hanuman represents faith and strength, the courage that comes from devotion and selfless service. Gita teaches that the greatest war is not fought with sword. It is fought every day within us, where Krishna says, "Choose wisdom." Arjun asks, "What is my duty?" Duryodhan whispers, "Think only about yourself." Shakuni says, "Take shortcuts." Karna says, "Stay loyal even if the path is wrong." Vidur reminds us, "Listen to your consciousness." Every decision we make determines which character wins inside us. The timeless lesson of Bhagavad Gita is not only the story of Kauravas and Pandavas, it is the story of our own mind. Krishna is our inner wisdom, Arjun is confused heart. Now let's start our journey. Where Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after my sons and sons of Pandu assembled on the sacred battlefield of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did they do? The Bhagavad Gita begins with a simple caution, but hidden inside that caution is the reason of entire war. King Dhritarashtra, who was blind, not only by his eyes, but also in his judgment. Instead of saying our children's, he says, my sons and sons of Pandu. Those two words reveal his greatest weakness, that is attachment. His love for his own children becomes stronger than his commitment to justice. This is surprisingly common in everyday life. A parent ignores their child mistake because they are their son or daughter. A manager promotes a favorite employee instead of the most deserving one. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is not just a place in history. It represents every difficult decision we face. Every day we stand on our own Kurukshetra, choosing between honesty and convenience, between duty and comfort, between what is right and what feels emotionally easier. The Gita begins by reminding us that the greatest battles are not fought with weapons, they are fought with our own mind. Whether you are a parent, teacher, manager, or friend, people trust those who are impartial. Every difficult decision asks one question: will I choose truth or attachment? Before Krishna speaks a single word, the Gita quietly asks us a question that still matters today. Are we seeing reality as it is, or only as we want it to be? Because every great conflict begins the moment attachment becomes stronger than wisdom. That is why the Bhagavad Gita starts not with war, but with the consequences of a biased mind. Sanjay understands Dhritarashtra's anxiety. Then Sanjay said, after seeing the army of Pandavas arranged in well-organized military formation, King Duryodhan approached his teacher. The war has not yet started. No arrows has been fired. No one has attacked anyone. Yet, the battle has already begun inside the Duryodhan's mind. The moment Duryodhan sees the disciplined formation of Pandav's army, he becomes uneasy. He has large army, more warriors, more resources. Yet, instead of feeling confident, he immediately focuses on what other side is doing. How often we do the same? You start a business, then spend more time watching your competitors than improving your own work. When you compare everyone else's success with yours, nothing changes around you. Only your focus has changed. That is exactly what happens to Duryodhan. Instead of trusting his own strength, he becomes obsessed with someone else. Fear begins the moment comparison begins. Comparison steals confidence. The moment you focus more on others, your confidence begins to fade. A fearful mind always see others as problem. Don't let anyone else's strength make you forget your own. The first battle is always mental. If you lose confidence before the challenge begins, the real battles become harder. The moment you stop comparing yourself with others and focus on your own purpose, we begin to reclaim our own strength. When Duryodhan approaches Dronacharya, he reminds Drona that the Pandav army has organized by your wise disciple, son of Drupad. Duryodhan's words are carefully chosen. Rather than simply describing the battlefield, he tried to provoke Drona's emotions by emphasizing the opposing commander is your intelligent disciple. This verse reveals that before the physical battle begins, the psychological battle is already taking place inside Duryodhan's mind. Instead of speaking calmly, Duryodhan tried to influence Dronacharya by reminding him of a painful personal story. Fear often pushes people toward manipulation rather than wisdom. Long ago, at the hermitage of sage Bharadwaj, two young boys studied together. One was Drona and other was Drupad. They learned together, played together, and trained in the art of archery together. The friendship was so deep that one day Drupad said to Drona, "When I become king, half of my kingdom will be yours. Our friendship will last forever." Drona smiled and believed his friend's promise. Time changed, year passed. Drupad became the king of Panchal. Drona's life was filled with hardship. That time, Drona remembered Drupad's promise. He thought, "My friend is now a king. Surely he will help me." With hope in his heart, Drona traveled to Panchal. Standing humbly in royal court, he said, "My friend Drupad, I am Drona. We studied together in Gurukul." King Drupad looked at him, then laughed coldly and said, "Friendship exists only between equals. A king and a poor Brahman can never be friends." The entire court burst into laughter. Drona lowered his head. Without saying another word, he quietly left the palace. But that day, a deep wound has created in his heart. As he walked away, Drona silently made a vow. "One day, I will break Drupad's pride." Sometimes later, Drona arrives in Hastinapur. Bhishma appointed him as a royal teacher of both Kauravas and Pandavas. He trained all the princes in the art of warfare. Among them, Arjun became his most gifted and beloved disciple. When their education was complete, Dronacharya asked for his Guru Dakshina. He said, "Bring King Drupad to me as a prisoner." Arjun went alone. He defeated King Drupad and brought him. Looking at Drupad, Dronacharya said, "Once you told me, friendship exists only between equals. Today, I have conquered half of your kingdom. Half now belongs to me. Now we are equals." Then Drona returned half of the kingdom to Drupad. It was an act of revenge, but also a lesson. Drupad could never forget this humiliation. He performed lot of sacrifices and rituals. From that sacred fire to extraordinary children born, Drashtum and Draupadi. Drashtum born with a boon to kill Dronacharya. Later, the same Drashtum approaches Dronacharya and asked him to accept him as his disciple. Dronacharya bounded with the duty of a teacher. He accepted Drashtum as his disciple and teaches all the things related to war. The same Drashtum is standing in front of him from Pandava's army. And in the end, he fulfilled his destiny by killing Dronacharya. Thus, a cycle of humiliation, revenge, and wounded pride, which had begun many years earlier, finally came to its end in the Mahabharat war. This is not merely the story of two men, it is the story of ego, revenge, and forgiveness. If Drupad had not humiliated his friend, revenge might never have been born. If Drona had let go of revenge, history itself might have been different. One moment of humiliation led to the suffering of generations. Bhagavad Gita teaches us, ego destroyed friendships, revenge destroys peace, forgiveness has the power to protect the future. That is why Lord Krishna repeatedly teaches in Gita the decisions driven by anger, ego, and attachment ultimately lead to sorrow, while decisions guided by wisdom, forgiveness, and dharma uplift both the individuals and society. That's why the choice between revenge and forgiveness does not just shape our future, it shapes the future of everyone connected to us. Duryodhan, who was a great diplomat, now said to Dronacharya, in Pandava's army there are many heroic warriors, mighty archers equal to Bhim and Arjun in battle, such as Yuyudhanaha, Satyaki, King Virat. All of them are great chariot warrior. Duryodhan is no longer looking at the army. He is counting the warriors. With every name he speaks, his fear quietly grows. A fearful mind sees threat everywhere. The battle has not even begun, yet Duryodhan has already started imagining how dangerous each warrior might be. That is how fear works. It rarely shows us our own strength. Instead, it magnifies every obstacle standing before us. The more we feed fear, the larger our problem appears. Soon we stop believing in ourselves, not because reality has changed, but because our perception has. Most challenges are not overwhelming as they first appear. It is often our anxious mind that makes them seem impossible. Sometimes we become like Duryodhan. We stop counting our blessings and start counting our fear. We stop noticing how far we have come and become obsessed with the strong others seems. Slowly, fear begins to lead our life instead of faith. Bhagavad Gita gently reminds us the greatest enemy is not standing in front of you. It is the fear whispering inside you. The day you stop counting your fear and start recognizing your own strength, your entire life will change. Duryodhan continues describing the Pandavas' army. There are also Drishtaketu, Chekitan, the mighty king of Kashi, Purojit, Kunti Bhoj, and the noble king Shapi. All of them are heroic warriors. Duryodhan keeps naming the warriors one after another. The list grows longer. So does his anxiety. None of these warriors have attacked him. No arrows has been released. No battle has begun. Yet Duryodhan is already overwhelmed, not by reality, but by the stories his own mind is creating. This is the nature of fear. It does not wait for the battle. It imagines the outcome before the battle begins. A restless mind keeps collecting reasons to worry. A peaceful mind gathers reasons to stand firm. Fear grows when we keep feeding it. Every time Duryodhan names another warrior, his mind becomes more occupied with danger. The battle has not yet started, yet Duryodhan is already suffering. When mind is restless, it notices every obstacle. When mind is peaceful, it notices every possibility. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is refusing to let fear lead. Everyone feels fear. The difference is that wise people acknowledge it without allow it to control their decisions. Bhagavad Gita gives us a timeless reminder. Don't let your mind become a collector of fear. Let it become a builder of courage. Because victory doesn't belong to the person who has the fewest obstacle. Victory belongs to the person who refuses to let obstacles occupy their mind. The battle outside begins with weapons. The battle inside begins with thought. And the person who learned the masters their thought has already taken the first step toward victory. Then Duryodhan said, O best of Brahmana, now please hear about the leaders of our own army. For your information, I shall name the principal commanders of my foes. Have you noticed something interesting? For the last few verses, Duryodhan has been talking about the Pandavas' army, their warriors, their discipline, their strength, their military formation. Only now does he finally turn his attention to his own army, and that reveals something profound about human mind. When fear takes control, our attention naturally shifts toward what others have, instead of appreciating what we already possess. Duryodhan had a large army, he had warriors, more resources, more power. But still, he is obsessed with Pandava's army. We admire someone's talent while forgetting the gifts we already have. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us the moment our eyes are fixed on everyone else's blessing, you become blind to your own. Comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it steals perspective. The happiest people are not those who have the most. They are the ones who recognize the value of what they already have. So before you compare your life with someone else, pause for a moment. Look at your own journey. Remember your own victories. The person who is always looking at others loses sight of themselves. Duryodhan continues, there are personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Kripacharya, Karna, Ashwathama, Vikarna, Bhurishrava, all of whom are the greatest warriors. Here, if we listen carefully, you noticed that Duryodhan uses the name of Dronacharya before Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Pitama, who is elder amongst Kauravas. But Duryodhan take the name of Dronacharya first. In Sanatan Dharma, we always keep our teachers at the topmost position. Duryodhan, who is a great diplomat, in the last word, he insulted Dronacharya by reminding him of his Brahmin origin. He wanted to pacify his act and want that Dronacharya will become loyal and will not become lenient toward Pandavas in this war. That's why he is taking his name before Bhishma Pitama. Bhagavad Gita quietly teaches us something beautiful. Relationships, mentors, and companions are blessings, but the greatest source of strength is a steady mind and righteous heart. Even though Duryodhan is surrounded by some of the greatest warriors in the history, still he was afraid. Because fear cannot be removed by powerful companion. It can only be removed by inner clarity. Duryodhan continues, there are many other heroic warriors who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. They all are well equipped with various weapons and highly skilled in the art of warfare. At first, this sounds like a king proudly describing his army. But listen carefully. When Duryodhan says, for my sake, this shows Duryodhan's ego. There is a difference between authority and leadership. An authority can command obedience. A true leader inspires devotion. Duryodhan believed his warriors would die for him. But many of them were not fighting out of love for him. Some are bound by duties. Some are loyal toward the throne. some by personal woes, and some by circumstances. Their bodies stood beside Duryodhan, but not every heart stood for him. Instead, this is true in our life as well. Many people may work with us, agree with us, respect our position, but that doesn't always mean they believe in us. Characters earn trust, powers can gather followers, integrity win hearts. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that the greatest leaders are not those who have the largest crowd behind them, but those who have the deepest trust within them. So don't ask how many people support me. Ask why do they support me? It is because they fear losing something or because they genuinely believe in who I am. Then Duryodhan said, our army is protected by Bhishma, whereas Pandava's army is protected by Bhim. On the surface, Duryodhan sounds confident. But if you have been listening carefully to the previous conversation, something doesn't end up. Duryodhan has been anxious. He has been counting enemies' warriors, praising their strength. And suddenly, he announces our army is stronger. Why? Because sometimes the loudest confidence is only a mask for the deepest insecurity. People who are truly confident rarely need to keep proving it. They don't constantly announce how powerful they are. They simply act. Someone constantly tells everyone how successful they are because deep down they are afraid they aren't enough. Words can hide emotions, but they cannot erase them. Real confidence is not built by repeating. So before trying to appear confident, work on becoming one. Because confidence that comes from the ego need constant applauses. Confidence that comes from inner wisdom need no audience at all. After listening to Duryodhan's anxious word, Bhishma didn't give a speech. He didn't argue. He didn't criticize him. Instead, he picked up his conch and blew it with a roar of lion. Sometimes people don't need more word. They need someone else's courage. Bhishma could see what Duryodhan couldn't hide. Behind his powerful army, his royal crown, there was frightened heart. So Bhishma's conch was more than the sound of war. It was a message. Do not let fear to lead you. Stand up, do your duties. The strongest people are not always those who solve every problem. Sometimes they are simply the one whose courage gives strength to everyone around them. Have you ever met someone who walked into the room and without saying much, made everyone feel calmer? A loving parent, a wise teacher, a true friend, or a genuine leader. Their greatest gift wasn't advice, it was their presence. Bhagavad Gita reminds us that the real strength is contagious. Fear spreads quickly, but courage spreads even faster. One honest leader can inspire a whole team. One person who refuses to panic can become the reason of others find hope. So always ask yourself, when people are afraid, does your presence increase their fear or increase their courage? Because in the end, people may forget your word you spoke, but they will never forget how your presence made them feel. And that is the timeless lesson of Bhagavad Gita here. And then suddenly, conches, drum, Cattle drums, trumpet, and horns were sounded all at once, creating tremendous uproar. The silence of Kurukshetra is suddenly shattered. Conches echo across the battlefield. Drum thundered, trumpets roar. The sound grows so loud that it seems like to shake the earth. It is the moment filled with energy, power, excitement. The noise is everywhere. Every army is trying to make its presence felt. Every warrior is announcing, I am here. Life is no different. Every day, the world is filled with noise. People's opinion, social media, news, comparison, expectation. Everyone is trying to tell us how to live, what to become, and what success should look like. If we keep listening to everybody's voice around us, we eventually stop hearing the voice that matters the most, the voice of our own consciousness. Bhagavad Gita gently reminds us that while the world may be full of noise, wisdom is always born in inner silence. So ask yourself, when life becomes loud, do you panic in the crowd or do you stay connected to your purpose? After that, Madhav is standing on his chariot yoked with white horses, blew his conch shell. Following him, Arjun also blew his conch shell. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell named Panchjanya. Arjun blew his conch Devdatta, and Bhim, the mighty warrior, known for his tremendous strength, blew his greatest conch called Pondra. Here, every conch represents a different quality needed to face life's battle. Krishna's conch Panchjanya symbolizes the victory of righteousness over evil. Before any action, Krishna reminds us that our decision should begin with dharma, not with anger, ego, or revenge. Arjun conch Devdatta means a conch which is given by the god. It reminds us that our talent, intelligence, and opportunities are gift. They should be used with gratitude and humility. Bhim's conch, Pondra, represents strength and fearlessness. Strength is not meant to dominate others. It is meant to protect the truth and justice. Together, these three conches teaches us that every challenge in life requires Krishna's wisdom, Arjun's humility, and Bhim's courage. Before reacting emotionally, ask yourself what is right. Then King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell named Anant Vijay. Nakul and Sahadev blew their conches, Sughosh and Mani Pushpak. Each conch reflects the character of the person who blows it. Yudhishthir, Anant Vijay represent truthness and righteousness. Anant Vijay meaning endless victory. Because victory gained through power or deception are temporary, but victories earned through truth, integrity, and dharma last forever. Nakul conch Sughosh means humility, grace, and gentle nature. His conch Sughosh means a beautiful or auspicious sound. It reminds us that our words has power. A kind voice can heal relationships. A harsh voice can destroy them. Sughosh conch Mani Pushpak means thought, wisdom, and humbleness. It symbolizes wisdom combined with purity and humility. Become compassion. Not only these warriors, the mighty king of Kashi, the greatest warrior Shikhandi, Drashtum, King Virat, and unconquered Satyaki, Drupad, son of Draupadi, and mighty armed Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, also blew their conch shells. Here every warrior had his own conch, his own place, and his own duties. No one tried to blow other person's conch. No one abandoned his own position. Each fulfilled the role that destiny has entrusted to him. Bhagavad Gita gently reminds us, you were created to sound your own conch. The sound produced through these conches echoed through the sky and the earth, and it pierced the heart of son of Dhritarashtra. The same sound was heard by both the armies, yet it produced completely different reaction. For Pandavas, the sound of the conches filled their heart with courage. For Kauravas, the same sound filled their heart with fear. The event is same, but the mind is different. And that is one of the deepest truths of Bhagavad Gita. Life presents the same challenges to different people. One person sees an obstacle, another sees an opportunity. One person is broken by failure, another grows because of it. The difference is rarely in the situation. The difference is in the state of mind. Why the sound pierced the heart of Kauravas? Have you ever think of this? Because deep down they knew they were standing on the side of other. When your consciousness is burdened by dishonesty, even the voice of truth can feel frightening. A person who lives with integrity has nothing to hide, but a person who lives with deception often fears of being exposed. Here, Bhagavad Gita said, it is not the outside world that creates the deepest fear. It is the condition of your own thoughts. If your heart is at peace, even the loudest storm cannot shake you. But if your heart is restless, even a whisper can disturb you. Then, seeing the son of Dhritarashtra standing ready for battle, Arjun, whose flag bore the emblem of Hanuman, lifted his bow and said to Sri Krishna, please take my chariot between the two armies. Before moving forward, I will tell you a story of Hanuman and Arjun. One day, Arjun proudly said that if he had been with Lord Rama, he could have built a bridge of arrows across the ocean instead of using a stone. Hearing this, Hanuman, who was disguised as an old monkey, challenged Arjun and said, if your bridge can hold my weight, I will accept your claim. Arjun built a beautiful bridge made of arrows. As soon as Hanuman stepped onto it, the bridge collapsed. Feeling ashamed, Arjun was ready to give up his life because he had failed. At that moment, Lord Krishna appeared and asked them to try again. Arjun built another bridge. This time, Krishna secretly supported it with his divine power. Even when Hanuman grew to his giant form and stood on the bridge, it did not break. Hanuman realized that Krishna was none other than Lord Ram, who he deeply loved. He bowed with devotion. Arjun also understood that success comes through God's grace, not pride. As a blessing, Hanuman promised to sit on Arjun's chariot flag during the Kurukshetra war, protecting him throughout the battle. This story tells us pride leads to failure, humility brings wisdom, God's grace makes the impossible possible. True strength comes from faith and devotion. So that's the reason why Arjun's chariot flag bore the emblem of Hanuman. When Arjun said he wants to see the warriors, it shows Arjun is not rushing into battle. He is not blinded by anger. He doesn't draw his bow and attack immediately. Instead, he says, let me first see who I am about to fight. At first, this sounds like a simple request, but hidden within it is a profound lesson for life. Before entering any battle, understand what you are really fighting. How often do we react before understand? We assume, we judge, we blame, we argue. Only later we realize we are fighting the wrong battle. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that wisdom begins with observation. Before actions come understanding, before judgment come awareness, before speaking come listening. Arjun wanted to see the warriors standing before him. But Gita unfolds. Krishna reveals that Arjun's greatest enemies are not merely the people across the battlefield. They are also the enemies within: fear, attachment, ego, anger, confusion. The inner enemies have defeated more people than the external enemies ever could. When Arjun said, I want to see those who have gathered here to fight for Duryodhan, to fulfill his desire. For a moment here, the Bhagavad Gita quietly asks us a powerful question. Who are you trying to please with your life? Today, many people don't live according to their consciousness. Instead, they live for approval from society, boss, or friend. Sometimes they live for the approval from strangers on social media. Slowly, they become addicted. People who spend their life trying to please everyone eventually loses himself. But people who seeks to please truth, dharma, and God discover peace that no amount of worldly praise can ever provide. This is the timeless lesson of Bhagavad Gita. When Arjun Gunakesh addressed in this way, Lord Krishna Rishikesh drove the magnificent chariot and placed it in between the two armies. There are many names of Krishna used in this chapter, like Rishikesh, Keshav, Achyut, Govind, and Madhusudan. Where Rishikesh means master of Lord of the senses, Keshava means slayer of the demon Keshi, one who has beautiful hair. It represents the Lord who harmonizes and destroys inner turbulence. Achyut means the infallible, unchanging one who never falls from his position. Where Govind means protector of cow and one who brings peace to the senses. Where Madhusudan means destroyer of the demon Madhu. And Janardar means the maintainer or uplifter of all the living beings. Not only this, Arjun is also addressed by several different names like Parth, Kaunteya, Gunakesh, Dhananjay, and Pandavas. Where Parth means son of Pritha. Pritha is the another name of Kunti. Gunakesh means one who conquered the sleep. Here, sleep represents ignorance. Dhananjay means a person who conquered the wealth. Pandava means son of Pandu. Here Pritha reminds Arjun of his mother's noble values. The word Kaunteya emphasizes his family and responsibility. Gunakesh shows his spiritual discipline. Dhananjay honors his skill with victories, and Pandavas identify him as the son of Pandu. When Arjun said, drove the chariot between the two armies, Krishna drove it and placed it between the two armies, where Bhishma, Drona, and all the kings can easily be seen, and said, O Parth, behold all these Kurus gathered here. Krishna speaks only one word. That's all. No lecture, no advice, no command to fight. just look at all these gurus. Because wisdom always begins with seeing reality as it is. Even Krishna can stop the chariot in front of the ordinary soldiers. But he deliberately stops it in front of Bhishma, Dronacharya, and other respected elders. Do you know why? Because Krishna was not trying to protect Arjun from reality. He was preparing Arjun to face it. This is how God works in our lives as well. Lord, remove my problems. But sometimes God doesn't remove the problem immediately. Instead, He says, first look at it. Look at your fear. Look at your attachment. Look at the truth you have been avoiding. Because what we refuses to face, we can never transform. Many of us spend years running from difficult conversations, painful memories, personal weaknesses, or uncomfortable truths. But running away never heals us. Bhagavad Gita teaches us that the first step toward transformation is not action, it is the honest observation. Krishna didn't tell Arjun to fight, but he said, look, because when you truly cease, you begin to understand. When you understand, you begin to choose wisely. Don't close your eyes. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Because truth may be painful for a moment, but avoiding truth can keep us trapped for a lifetime. And when Arjun looked at his grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, father-in-laws, and well-wishers, that is the moment everything changes. Until now, Arjun had been looking at the battlefield. Now he sees the people on battlefield. He no longer sees them as enemies. He sees his grandfather, teachers, uncles, his loved ones. Suddenly, this war is no longer about victory. It becomes deeply personal. And isn't that exactly how life works? From distance, people are just names, just opinions and labels. But the moment we truly see them, we discover that every person carries a story. Every face has known joy, pain, love, loss, dream, and fear. Gita reminds us the compassion begins the moment we stop seeing people as labels and start seeing them as human beings. Krishna did not hide this painful reality from Arjun. He allowed him to see it fully. Because true wisdom never grows in denial. And when Arjun saw his kinsman, Arjun said to Sri Krishna, my limbs fail, my mouth become dry. I can't fight with my own people. They are my grandfather, my uncle, my relatives. Arjun's emotional pain doesn't only in his mind. It began to affect his body. His hand loses his strength. His body trembles. The Gita reveals the modern psychology that the mind and the body are deeply connected. When the mind is filled with fear, the body begins to suffer. When the heart carries heavy anxiety, even the strongest person can feel physically weak. How many times has this happened to us? Before an important interview, before a difficult conversation, before receiving unexpected news, our heart races, our hand trembles, our mouth becomes dry. The battle may be outside, but the first battle is always within. Arjun does not hide what he was feeling. He tells Krishna everything. No pride, no mask, no false image of strength. And perhaps that is where the healing begins. Because the emotions we honestly acknowledge lose their power to control us. The emotions we suppress often become stronger. God never asks us to hide our struggle. He invites us to bring them to Him. Even the strongest person experiences fear. The moment you stop pretending to be okay is often the moment true healing begins. Arjun, the greatest archer of his time, a warrior who had faced countless battles without fear, the man whose Gandiv was a symbol of unmatched strength and confidence. Yet today, his greatest enemy is not standing in front of him. It is the storm within him. When the mind is disturbed, even the strongest head becomes shaken. The problem was never about Arjun's skill. His skills was still there. His strength was still there. His experience was still there. But what changed was the condition of his mind. Isn't that true in our lives? A brilliant student forgets everything during an important exam. A talented speaker freezes on stage. Their ability doesn't disappear. Their mind has become overwhelmed. Bhagavad Gita reminds us, life's greatest battles are rarely fought with our muscles. They are fought with our mind. Arjun said, I only see bad omens everywhere. Here Arjun said to Sri Krishna, O Govind, what use is a kingdom? What use are pleasures or even life itself when those for whose sake we desire these things stand here before us? What is the purpose of wealth, success, or even life if it comes at the cost of those who matters the most? We earn money, we buy big homes for someone whom we love, for our children, for our parents. But one day we realize we achieved our goal, but lost the moment that truly mattered. Arjun reminds that success without meaningful relationships feel empty. Yet there is another important lesson hidden here. Arjun's love for his family is genuine. His compassion is real. But at this moment, his emotions are clouding his judgment. Here Gita unfolds, Krishna will teach him an important distinction. Love is sacred, attachment is not. Love inspires us to do what is right. Attachment can prevent us from doing what is right. So ask yourself today, what I am really working for. If success cost you your peace, your integrity, or the people you love, is it truly a success? Money can be earned again. Titles can be won again. Even failures can be overcome. But time lost with the people you love often never return. Then Arjun said, O Madhusudan, even if they were to kill me, I do not wish to kill them, not even for the sovereignty of the three words, what to speak of this earthly kingdom. Here, at the first, these words sound incredibly noble. The voice of forgiveness, the voice of compassion. But when compassion is mixed with attachment, it becomes confusion. And that is the danger we all face. But when compassion is guided by dharma, it becomes the greatest force for justice and peace. Because true love never asks us to abandon the truth. It gives us the strength to stand for the right with courage, humility, and a heart free from hatred. Then Arjun said, O Janardhan, what joy we get after killing the son of Dhritarashtra, even though we know they are aggressors. Killing them would bring only sin upon us. Therefore, we should not kill the son of Dhritarashtra, who are our own relatives, How can we ever be happy after killing our own family? Arjun is no longer afraid of losing the battle. He is afraid of winning it. He asks, if victory comes at the cost of our own family, how can the victory ever bring us happiness? Think about that moment. Most people spend their life asking, how can I become successful? But Arjun asked a much deeper question. Arjun said, I know Kauravas are overpowered by greed. Do not see the evil in destroying the family or sin in betraying the friends. But we can clearly see the evil that comes from destroying a family. Why should we not turn away from this sinful act? With the destruction of family, its eternal traditions and values perish. And when dharma is lost, the entire family overwhelmed by adharma. He is not talking about buildings, family names, or bloodline. He is talking about something much deeper. The values that are passed from one generation to the next. Respect, honesty, compassion, faith. These are the real treasures of a family. Money can be inherited. Property can be inherited. But unless values are inherited, a family may remain wealthy yet become spiritually bankrupt. Look around our world today. Many parents work tirelessly to leave behind wealth for their children. But the greatest inheritance is not a large house. It is a strong character. Then Arjun said, O Krishna, when irreligion or adharma prevails, the moral and social fabric of family deteriorates. When family loses their moral foundation, disorder and confusion spreads through generations. Such social disorder leads both the destroyer of the family and family itself toward ruin. When family traditions are lost, even the sacred duties of remembering and honoring our ancestors are neglected. Then Arjun said, O Janardhan, I have heard that when the eternal values of family are destroyed, the people of family suffer a life of misery and decline. Many people think hell is a place after death. But Gita gently invites us to look closer. Sometimes hell begins long before death. It begins when trust disappears from a home, when trust is replaced by suspicion, when love is replaced by selfishness, when respect is replaced by ego. A beautiful home can become a prison if peace no longer lives inside us. Friends, real wealth is not measured only by money. A family may have luxury, expensive car, beautiful home, but still feel empty because a home without love is only a building. Bhagavad Gita reminds, Dharma is what turns a house into home. It is invisible force that keeps relationships alive. Choose forgiveness over revenge, service over selfishness. The greatest gift you can give your family is not a life of comfort, it is a life filled with character, kindness, and trust. Choose dharma every day, and you will create a home where peace can live not only for yourself but for your generations to come. Then Arjun said, just by the desire for the pleasure of kingdom, we are ready to kill our own relatives. It is better if the son of Dhritarashtra with weapons in their hand should kill me on the battlefield while I remain unarmed and offer no resistance. I would consider that better for myself. And here Arjun reaches his breaking point. he put his Gandiv down and sat on the chariot and said, I can't do this anymore. The desire to quit does not come from the lack of ability. It comes from a mind that has lost its direction, a tired body that needs rest, a confused mind needs wisdom. And this is the end of Arjun's despair and the beginning of Krishna's teaching. Let's meet in the next chapter. Hare Krishna.